stuff and to take these classes and everything, but it's also good just to like tune in to our bodies and see really what's going on. So we'll be moving really slow and just sort of feeling out these movements, and just allowing ourselves to just relax into some of these poses, just to sort of bring some calm as you enter into your day, whether you're working or not. So if you are joining us now, find a nice, easy sitting pose that you can sit in for a while. So if you need to sit up on like a cushion, or if you have a block, you can use that too. You can roll up your mat and sit on top of that if it hurts to sit on the ground or if it's uncomfortable. And you can just go ahead and like settle in and just begin to tune into your breath. So as we wait for everyone to join us, just notice what's going on in your body. Notice where you're holding any tension. Notice the quality of your breath. We'll go through two different pranayamas before we get started. Pranayama and breath work really can help to relax the mind and the body. So there's the asana practice that can do the same thing. So working hard and sort of getting a little more worn out can also calm you down to be able to sit in meditation. But sometimes you've got to enter it in the other way. So you've got to tune into our breath. So the breath work can really help to ease everything. But be mindful as we go through this. If it is too much, try to follow me as best you can. But sometimes getting into some of this deep breath work can bring up some anxiety. I have never really experienced that myself, but that can happen to people. I've heard this. So we're going to do some like breath retention as well. So as you're breathing, if you start getting anxious or it's too much, you can go ahead and like release your breath. So find that nice easy seat. Make sure both sit bones are grounded into the ground. You can sort of sit back and forth. Find that easy seat, and then you rock forward and back, and just find a place where you want to settle. And sit with your shoulders down your back, so create a lot of room for your air to breathe. Pull your low belly in. Good, and then close your eyes. And take a couple deep breaths. So inhale deeply, then exhale out through your nose. So begin to extend your breath. Inhales, and then exhale. Try to make your breath match. So as you're inhaling, inhale as deeply as you can, pulling your low belly in, lifting your chest, expanding out your rib cage, and then exhale slowly. So get that nice expansion, and then release. Okay, let's take a couple of cleansing breaths. So inhale, and then exhale slowly. Inhale, exhale, and then do one more. Inhale, and then exhale. Okay, so in our next one, we're going to inhale. You're just going to hold it up at the top, and I'm going to count to 5. So inhale deeply, pull everything in, expand your chest, and then when you get to the top or you can't hold anymore, tuck your chin underneath to prevent prevent breath from escaping, and hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Inhale again. Right, hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale slowly. Inhale. So inhale up slowly so you're not gasping in too much. And when you exhale, make sure that it's like a really slow breath. So inhale. Tuck your chin. And then hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale slowly. Good. And then inhale. Exhale. All right, so now we're going to hold it down at the bottom. So inhale. Exhale. Exhale all of it of breath that you can. And once you get to the bottom, everything is out. Tuck your chin again and hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, inhale again. And then exhale. Hold it down at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. And then exhale. Good, tuck your chin, hold it down at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Tuck your chin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale again. Exhale. Okay, so now we're going to hold it up at the top. When we inhale, we're going to hold it, and then when you exhale, you're going to hold it again. So this is a little bit harder, so try to control the breath coming in and out after you hold it so you're not gasping for air. So let's go ahead and start. So first you're going to inhale and hold it up at the top. So inhale. Tuck your chin and hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Hold it down the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Tuck your chin, hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Hold it down the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Hold at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Hold it at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more inhale. Deep breath, and then hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale slowly. Every last bit of air. And then hold it down the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale slowly. And then exhale. Inhale again. And exhale out your mouth. Okay. So, if you struggled with that, there's a little bit of practice with being able to hold it down at the bottom and at the top. Usually we struggle with one more than the other, so it's good like balancing that out. You can practice this at home and slowly increase the time that you hold it. That you can use the Seconds app. There's a metronome app as well, so you can do this like any time that you feel like you need rejuvenated, right? Okay, so go ahead and get started with some movement. So sit up tall, reach your hands up above your head, and then exhale and twist to the right and take your left hand to your right knee and your right hand behind you. Again, sit up tall, twist, and breathe. Use your breath to inhale and your exhale to twist maybe a little bit more. And then inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, turn to the left, so your right hand goes to your left knee, your left hand goes behind you. And breathe, inhale. Exhale, maybe twist a little more. Inhale. Exhale. Good, sweep your arms up. Back through center. Good, and then let's do some neck rolls. So take your ear to your shoulder and drop your left shoulder down. Good, and then back through center, and then take your left ear to your left shoulder, drop your right down. Sit up tall. Good, and then back through center, drop your head, tuck your chin, stretch out the back of your neck. So keep sitting up tall and then pointing the crown of your head towards the front of the room, dropping your chin. And inhale, look up, and then exhale, drop your head back. Reach your chin up towards the sky. And as you're doing that, think about taking the crown of your head back and keep like lifting up with your chest. So bring your ears forward. Good, and then we'll take it some circles. So take it to the right, drop your chin, turn your head to the left, and then roll it back. So do a couple of these. Slowly going through this movement. Don't go too fast, just feeling where you're holding tension, maybe in your shoulders or your neck, especially as we're on our phones a lot. Good, and then reverse it, go to the other side. So do one more. Good, and then inhale and lift your chest, so take your back into a little bit of an arch, drop your shoulders down your back, so decompress them down your back. Drop your head back, little back bend, and then exhale, pull your belly in, roll your shoulders forward, tuck your chin. Inhale, go back, and then exhale, forward. So releasing your belly here, lifting up with your chest, using the shoulders down your back to lift your chest, and then rolling your shoulders forward, pulling your belly in, your spine reaches towards the back. Good. All right, then roll over your knees. Let's come to a tabletop position. So go through a few cat-cows here. So pay attention here. If you want to drop your belly down, just find that nice neutral. Pull your belly in, tuck your toes. Good. And then drop your belly down and push your butt up to the sky, your hips up to the sky. And as you're doing that, think about pulling the mat apart with your knees to create some expansion in your legs. And then lift your head. Good. And then when you exhale, slowly curl. Feel your spine move as you press into the ground, reaching your shoulders up towards the sky and pulling your belly in, tucking in your pelvis. Good. And then release it down. Again, moving slowly through this and pulling your knees apart on the mat as you reach your head up. Inhale and then exhale. Tuck your chin, press into the ground, reach your back up towards the sky, pull your low belly in, tuck your pelvis underneath. Good. And then move a little bit more freely. So paying attention to those movements, you're activating and releasing. So using that muscle activation to really feel out your body right now. So where you're feeling tight. So go through a couple rounds on your own. You can take it side to side. So taking your right shoulder to your right hip and then left shoulder to left hip. Notice if you want to like pull up one side than the other. See if you can keep your hips level as you go back and forth. And then you can take it in some body rolls. So starting with the shoulders, so you're pressing up and down with your shoulders and using that to lead the movement, and then bringing your belly in, so you're tucking in your belly and releasing it, and then using your legs as well. So taking it through those slow circles. Good. So take a couple more rounds. Move it on your own. I like to go slow to really feel things out. Good. And then when you're done, come back to a neutral. So find that place. I tend to want to back bend a lot, so pulling that in. Good. And as you pull your belly in, reach your hands forward. So we're coming into a puppy pose. So your hips are right over your knees, and you're reaching your arms forward and dropping your belly down, or dropping your chest down. So find a place that feels good to you. Still pulling the mat apart with your knees to create a little bit more room, and then dropping your chest down. So maybe you come to the top of your head, or you can keep your head lifted and come up onto your fingertips, pressing through your fingertips, pulling the mat apart with your knees, and then dropping into your chest. So creating a little bit more room in that thoracic spine. Inhale, and with each exhale, maybe you sink a little bit lower. Good. So keeping all of this really active as we settle in. All right, and then inhale, come up, walk your hands back. All right, and then take your left hand, reach it above your head, keep your hips square, and then thread the needle. So take your left hand, thread it underneath your right, and come onto the left shoulder. Square up your hips, again, pulling them out apart with your knees, and resting the side of your head into the ground. So as you pull the mat apart with your knees, you're still holding your weight in your back legs so that you're not dumping into your neck here. And then if it's available, you can reach the right hand forward, create more of a stretch. You can even take this up and around and grab onto the opposite hip crease to increase that stretch, but still check in with your hips, see if they want to move. Keep pulling them out apart with your knees so you create some stability there. Good. And then take your right hand, place it into the ground, come back up, reach your hand up, and then place it back down. Okay, so then we'll go the other side. Inhale, your right hand lifts, and then thread it underneath the left and come onto the right shoulder. Again, squaring up your hips by pulling the mat apart with your knees and dropping onto the side of your head. So if you're feeling that in your neck, just lean back with your hips, so pull your hips back and then reactivate your legs. Then you can reach your right hand forward, right in front of you, or you can take it back around and grab hold of that opposite hip, re-square up your knees. Good, and then you can release. Left hand presses into the ground, your right hand comes back into tabletop. Good. All right, sit back into a child's pose, reach your hands forward, extend really long. So feet together and then knees apart, so kind of getting into your hips here. Pull your hips back, reach your hands forward, come up onto your fingertips, drop your head down, extending out your spine, tucking your tailbone underneath you as you stretch. Good, and then come up, stay on your fingertips, and then drop your hips underneath, and then reach your chest up high. So creating a lot of room with your fingertips. You can come up onto the ground if your hands, that hurt your hands a lot. Good, and then reach your hips back. All right, and then come forward again. So slowly, and notice where you want to dump into your hands. See if you can keep your hands really active, pressing into the ground, as then you drop your belly down and reach your chest forward, coming into a little up dog. Good, and then go back. All right, and then inhale, come back into tabletop position. Tuck your toes underneath. We'll go through a few slower sun salutations. So tucking your toes underneath, lift your hips up, and then reach them back to the back of the room. So drop your head down, press through your hands, wide fingers here, pressing through all 5 fingers, all 10 fingers, and then pushing the weight towards your hips, towards your feet, so that you sink more into your feet and your feet take the weight. Engage your legs, pull your low belly in. Good, and then inhale, look forward, and then tiptoe up to the top of your mat. So slowly come to the top, pressing into the ground, and then come to a forward fold. And grab your big toes, and then pull yourself down into that forward fold. So first one, you may be a little bit tight here, so you can bend your knees, dropping your head down. If you bend your knees, then again, like you're pulling them out apart with your feet, that'll go up to your hips, and then press your hips up towards the sky. So a nice active forward fold. Good, then release your hands. Look forward, come to a half lift, so your hands can go onto your shins. Reach your head forward, lengthen out your spine. And then exhale, hands go down. Step back, put your knees down, and then tilt forward, pull and lower all the way down onto your belly. Then roll your shoulders back. Hands are right by your bra strap if you're wearing a bra, or right below your chest. And then reach your chest up into a little baby cobra. Hold it here. Feel your back firing up here as you reach your chest up a little bit more. Good, and then up, back, downward facing dog. So take a breath here, settle in again, reactivate your hands, press towards your feet, engage your legs. And then look forward, tiptoe up to the top of your mat. And then fold. Grab your elbows and just let yourself hang here. Toes together, your heels are a little bit apart. Engage your legs and relax your belly. See if you can feel like an emptiness here in your belly as you pour forwards. So you're pulling in slightly, but letting gravity just release your organs up into your rib cage. Good, and then slowly stand all the way up. Inhale, reach your hands up. Press into your feet. So you're pressing into your big toe and your little toe, engaging up your legs, tucking your belly in, your tailbone underneath. Reach up and then exhale, keeping all of that going still in your legs, forward fold. Good, inhale, half lift. Extend forward. Take your hands and take them to your hip crease. And when you can fold again and then use your hands, so they're like little hooks, pressing into your hips, pushing your hips back as you fold. So nice little spinal traction here. You can bend your knees if it's too much and still just like press. I like to get right into the hips where my hip flexors are to help release them. So using my arms to really traction out my spine. Good, and then release that, hands to the ground, step back, come to a downward facing dog. Breathe here. And then inhale, bring your right leg forward. So you're bending your knee up, and then right foot steps in between your hands, drop your back knee down, squeeze everything together, and come up into a low lunge. So you can put your hands on your knees to help you sit up, pulling everything in, squeeze everything together. Reach your arms up towards the sky, and then exhale, hands go down, slide the foot back to meet the other, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, lift your chest. So you can stay in the low cobra, or if you feel good, you can go back up into a upward facing dog, and then downward facing dog. Good, and then inhale, your left leg comes forward, bend your knee up, step in between your hands, drop your back knee down. Good, squeeze everything together. Tuck your tailbone underneath, so feeling that stretch in the front of your thigh. Reach your hand up, squeeze everything together, active legs. Good, and then exhale, your hands go down. And then slide that foot back, lower down through chaturanga. Good, inhale, upward dog. And then exhale, downward dog. All right, inhale, right leg lifts, pull your knee into your nose, step your foot through your hands, drop your back knee down. Reach your hands up, squeeze everything together, tucking your tailbone. And then you exhale and twist. So hook your left elbow to your right knee and put your hands in prayer position. So just twist here. You can drop your hand to the ground if you can reach it, or just stay here in prayer. Good, and then inhale, back through center, place your hands down, step your foot back, and then lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog, lift through your chest, exhale, downward dog. Good, your inhale, your left leg stretches back, pull your knee in towards your nose, drop your foot down between your hands, drop your back knee down. Good. So sit up here, tuck your tailbone, reach up, and then exhale, you're going to twist to the opposite side. So your right elbow to your left knee, hands can stack into prayer, or you can reach towards the ground. So here, or here. Good, inhale and then exhale, deepen the twist. Good, and then back up through center, lift your hands. Then frame your foot with your hand, tuck your back toe underneath, slide the foot back, lower down chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. And then exhale, downward dog. Take a few breaths. Inhale, lift your right leg, stretch it back, press your heel towards the back wall, then bend your knee into your butt And then open up that hip. Good, so try to keep the weight in both hands, squaring off your shoulders, creating one long line from your right hand to your left hip, or your right hip. Good, and then inhale, you're gonna pull that leg forward and step it to the outside of your right foot. Drop your back knee down. Setting up for a lizard pose, so squeezing your legs together. Stay here. And breathe, so still tucking that tailbone underneath. Keep your knee right next to your side. Good, then take your right hand, place it on your knee, and twist towards the back. So your left hand is down, your right hand is on your knee. And then take it into a twist. You can reach your hand up and over, reach up for the sky. Good, then exhale back through center, place both hands down to the ground, and then come on maybe onto your elbows, maybe not. Still keeping everything together here, and relax into this pose, so pressing into, keep your feet active, so still pressing into your front foot and your back foot to let them take the weight as you stretch out your inner thighs. And then notice what comes up. So if you need I like to sort of reactivate sometimes in this pose, so you can squeeze your legs together and lift your hips up and then drop back down. And notice that that changes. Sometimes when we first enter it, it can we enter into the wrong, or into a place that feels tight. So if you're feeling tight, you can just lift your butt up and then drop it back down. All right, come up onto your hands, and then rotate the pinky toe onto the pinky toe edge of that right foot. So using the hip to create that movement. Yeah, so just see what kind of range of motion you have in your hip. So as you're pressing into the pinky toe edge to open it up, see how far you can take it out without using your hand. Good, and then back through center. Take the weight into your hands, and then step the foot back, downward facing dog. Okay, inhale, extend your left leg back, press the heel towards the back wall, bend the knee, and then open up the hip. And then re-square up your shoulders, creating a nice long stretch from your left hand to your left hip. Good, and then inhale, you're gonna pull that knee in and then drop it next to your left hand. Drop your right knee down. So setting up for that lizard pose, tucking your tailbone underneath, lift your chest. Left foot is active, pressing into your toes. And then lean into your right hand, take your left hand and start twisting towards the left foot. So you can keep your left hand on your knee, or you can reach it up towards the sky. Opening up that chest, inhale and then exhale. Good, and then drop that hand back down. So we're gonna sit in lizard again, so you can stay here, or you can begin to lower onto one elbow, or maybe the other one as well. Still lifting your chest forward. And tucking that back hip underneath. Again, you can press into your left foot to push up your butt and then drop it back down just to sort of realign. Squeezing everything towards the midline. And then use your breath to inhale and exhale to release. So if you're inhaling, you can pull your butt up, and then exhale, you can release it back down. But use your breath to create the movement. One more breath here. Good, and then come up onto your hands. And again, for the left side, you're gonna roll open that onto the pinky toe edge of that foot. So rolling that open, again, pressing through that pinky toe edge and seeing the movement you have in your hip. So using your hip to create that movement, so it's active stretch here. You're still squeezing that the right inner thigh so we don't dump into one side. So you're really being able to see what kind of range you have when you're doing it actively. So I don't have as much in my left as I do onto my right. Good, and then tuck your back toe underneath, go back into downward facing dog. Good, inhale and look forward, come to the top of your mat. You're gonna sit into a chair, so sitting your hips back, lift your arms, and then hands come to heart center. Lower your hips down, so slowly making your way towards the ground, so lower them again. Tuck your tailbone slightly. Good, and then come all the way down into like a little squat. Good, all right, so made it down, and then open up your knees and come into a malasana squat. So you can stay on your toes or lean into your feet. If you have a cushion or a block or something, you can place it underneath your butt. And then again, actively pressing your knees away from one another. Just see like how you can do this actively before taking your hands in prayer and then pushing it a little bit further. So increasing that range, getting some more mobility in our hips. Sit up tall. So we're not pressing so hard that we reach into like our end range of motion. So that's why it's good to keep them active as you inhale and exhale. Reach your hands forward. And then take your right hand and turn it. So you're gonna rotate your shoulder to thumbs up and then thumbs down. Wrap it around your right knee. Your left hand reaches up. Maybe you grab a bind around your back, or you can take that hand and tuck it into wherever you can reach. So lifting your chest here again, keeping your hips really square as you open up and using your core to twist to the left. Good, and then release that. Stretch out towards the middle. And then left arm, so thumbs down, reach around your left knee, reach your right hand up, and then try to grab hold of that other hand. Again, lifting through your chest and then turning your shoulder, maybe coming into a twist, keeping your hips really level here, so engaging your legs. Inhale, and then exhale, release that. Reach your arms forward and then sit back come into a seat. All right, so extend your legs forward, coming into a forward fold. So inhale and take your hands and put them back into that hip crease here. So we're lifting, and I'll take my hands and sort of just like right there where we bend, and then try to fold over those hands. So your hips doing the movement, so reaching your chest forward. Yeah, and then keep pressing your hands back. So finding that hip crease, make sure we're bending from our hips and not from our low back. So maybe you might notice that you're not going as far as you normally do because you might be rounding too much in your low back. Pull your belly in for support. Good, and then you can reach your hands forward and grab whatever you can. Keep your feet really active, so press through your heels here. Expand out your toes. Good, and then inhale, come all the way up. All right, so now take your right foot and you're gonna flip it out towards So rotate from your hip so that your right foot goes out to the right. All right, sitting up tall. Without using your hands, pull your leg in. So take your heel and trace it to the inside of your thigh. See how far up you can reach your foot without using your hands. And then you can take your hand and put it as close into your groin as you can. So your right foot is on the inside of your left thigh. Actively rotate your right hip down towards the ground. Again, lifting your chest forward, and then you're going to fold, taking that movement from your hips and from your core before reaching forward. And then fold. So still pressing that right foot into the left inner thigh. So keeping these active. Good. And then inhale. And press your foot into the ground to lift with your core. Good. And then slide that foot with your heel all the way back down. All right. So do the other side. So take your left foot and then rotate it out to the left. Heel to heel. And then pull that heel, trace the inside line of your right thigh with that heel. See how far you can bring it up without using your hands. And then when you get to your end range, then you use your hand. Good, and then let that knee fall out to the side, so no rotation in your hip as you do that. Press your foot into your thigh and your thigh into your foot. Reach forward, so lifting with your chest. You can take your hands to your hips to keep them square. And then slowly reach forward and fold here. Keep pressing through that heel in the ground. Your left foot is pressing into that right inner thigh. Good, and then inhale, slowly come up. And then trace that heel all the way down. Come back into a forward fold. Okay, so this time, turn both feet out to the side, so like ballerina. So both feet are externally rotating, using those hips to do that. And then press your heels together. And then pull with your legs. So pull them in. And see if you can continue to press through your heel as you pull in your feet. Notice if you want to lean back, which I do. And then try to lean forward again. When you hit that end range, you can grab your feet and pull them in a little bit more. So, again, without using your hands, press into the pinky toe edge of your foot to rotate those hips a little more open. Now, if you're right up here, just stay here and continue just to like press into your feet. So keeping that active. And so you can kind of go inhale and press your feet together, and then exhale, release. So inhale, you press your feet together, exhale, release. So wherever you are, use that. So pressing your feet together to activate your hips and everything, and then exhale and release everything. Good. Inhale, do it again. Exhale, release. Good. And grab your feet. Reach your chest forward. Press through your heels. So you feel that rotation coming from your hips. You can take your hands by your hips again, and then rotating and pull them back. So that nice little hip traction, keeping your legs really active. Reach your chest forward. Good. And then relax everything and maybe forward fold. If your knees are still pretty high, don't forward fold. Just stay where you are. This can be kind of uncomfortable. Just still work on that activation. So each time you can like inhale and then exhale and see if that activation can help release a little bit more into the pose. Good, and then press your heels together to lift all the way back up. Pull your core in. Good, knees together. All right. So come onto your back. And we're gonna do a couple of bridges before I lay you down. We'll do some like meditation as we close out. So pull your feet close to your hips. Step them to the outside of your hips. So if you look down at your feet, you should still be able to see your heels. Good, and then using your feet, pressing into the ground, to lift your hips up towards the ceiling. So you can stay here. You can also place your hands underneath your hips and right into the sacrum for a little supported bridge. And think about taking your ribs away from your pelvis. So pulling your hips up towards your chin. Your hands can go either side. If they're not supporting your hips, they can go to either side or they can take a bind. Good. Lengthening out your back, and then exhale, release to the ground. Good. Let's do another one of those. So pressing into your feet first, lifting your hips up slowly. Good. Supporting your low back with your hands maybe. And as you're here, still think pulling that rib cage away from your hip bones, so creating some length here in your belly. You might need to raise up a little bit more, pressing through your feet to create that space. Good, and then exhale, release your hips down to the ground. Pull your legs in. Wrap your hands around your knees, tuck your chin, so come into a nice tight little ball. You can roll back, rock back and forth, releasing your back. And then take your knees, drop them out to the right, twist. You can take your hand, your right hand again, and you can press it into your left hip. Create some length as you drop that left shoulder to the ground, and you can take your gaze over towards your extended left hand. And check out your knees, make sure that they're in line with one another. You can shift your hips back a little bit just to create a little bit more length here, and you're twisting from your upper thoracic. Good, and then back through center. Drop your knees over to the left, maybe scoot your hips towards the right 2 inches so you get a nice, long, tall spine. Take your left hand, push your right hip bone away, and then extend your right hand out. Creating some length between your hip and your shoulder. Breathe into your rib cage, feel those ribs spread apart. Good, and then back through center. Pull your knees in, tuck your chin. Good, and then release your head back. Feet up to the sky. Grab your toes and pull into a happy baby. So keeping those knees out to either side, you can rock back and forth. Press your low back to the ground. And try to remove that back bend so you're tucking your tailbone underneath as well. Again, you can extend one leg then the other, so just like stretching it out here. And then pull your knees in towards your chest and begin to make your way onto your back. So stretching out long. Settle into the ground here. So relaxing your breath. So exhale deeply. Allow the weight of your bones to drop into the floor. Close your eyes. Feel the ground, and then feel the ground that's even below that ground. So really grounding down. Allow the weight of your organs to sink. like leaves lowering to the bottom of a winter pond. Visualize your blood and breath settling into the back of your body. Allow your skin to spread out along the floor so the skin of your back is fully in contact with the floor. Allow the weight of the back of your sacrum and the weight of the back of your skull to drop. Allow the weight of the back of your sacrum and the weight of the back of your skull to drop even more. Inhale into your back ribs and feel them expand along the floor. Ask yourself, are you tired, bloated, restless, heavy, or distracted? Do you have any pain that is palpable? Scan your body for any nuance of sensation. That is, notice any tingles or pulsation in your nerves, your bloodstream, or your fascia. Tuning in even more. As you go deeper into your body, relaxing your mind. Take a deep inhale. Exhale it out through your mouth. Inhale again. Exhale. Begin to deepen your breath. Reach your hands up overhead. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then roll onto your right side. Pull your knees in towards your chest. Hold yourself there for a moment. And slowly make your way into a seated position. Top of your mat. Keep your eyes closed, very soft. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly through your nose. Inhale again. Exhale out through your nose. Begin to think of your breath as a full circle. So your inhales and your exhales follow one another. We're not holding our breath at the end, so keeping that cycle going. You're going to extend your hands out, palms up, before finger and your thumb touch. So drop your shoulders down your back and inhale and imagine that circle. So inhale and it's coming all the way up, reaching the top. And then exhaling out slowly, all the way down. Maybe exhaling a little bit more air, right, till it drops to the bottom. And then you inhale, slowly all the way back up to the top. Pull in a little more air, And then slowly begin to exhale it out. Once you reach that bottom, you start to inhale again. A little bit more air, and then exhale it slowly, so keeping that same pace. Reaching the bottom. Inhale slowly. Control that inhale. And then both, and settle in. Hands heart center. Find one thing that you're grateful for amidst all of this. Hold on to that. Bring that picture into your mind. Just thankful for your body, for your breath, for shelter. And slowly open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys have a great day, and it's a great way to start it out. So think about carrying that calmness you feel and that relaxation into the rest of your day. And y'all have a great one. Thank you so much. See y'all next week.